Hello everybody, welcome to class number 10 on National Scrapbooking Day. My name is Merle from Scrap and Card Boutique down in Durban. I'm sure you've had a lovely time so far with all the fantastic projects that there have been. Many more to come, and yeah, enjoy. Happy scrapping. Today we're making a shadow box card. It's really cute. It looks like a book. Those are your pages. You open it up, and inside the cavity you have layers of embellishments, or you can fill it with some sweeties and put a piece of acetate in the front. You can put photographs, anything. You can put a nice little gift in here and again close it with some acetate, and that's a fabulous gift for somebody. Another example is this one. Again, I've only got 2 layers of inserts here. You can put up to 4, and each one that you put in you'll make it higher and higher until the whole thing is covered, and it gives that the lovely 3D effect. Again, you could put photographs, or you can fill the cavity with a gift or some sweeties. Right, let's get started. For this class, you're going to need 3 sheets of plain cardstock, 1 sheet of pattern paper, and then a sheet that you can cut out for embellishments. I'm working in centimeters, but I am going to give you just a heads up. When it comes to scoring, we're going to score in inches because my scoreboard is really old and is only in inches. So please don't get confused. But everything that we cut now is going to be centimeters. Right, for the base of your box, you take your first sheet of cardstock and you're going to cut that 30 by 19. And I just want to cut it straight. I find that these cardstocks are not quite straight. So there you go, that's 30. And we're going to go by 19, and I'm just going to turn it because that edge looked a bit skew. 19. That's going to make up the cover of your card. Another sheet of cardstock. This one you're going to cut 18 by 18 centimeters. That's 18 by 18. This piece that's left over, keep that. It's part of the book. Once again, another piece. 18 by 18, and you keep that one. That's all the cutting for now, and we're going to score. As I said, the scoring is in inches. Let's go with the 18 by 18 piece first. You're going to score every half an inch all the way across. So half an inch, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. Do that with both pieces. Half, 1, 1.5, 2, and so on to the end. your 2 pieces that were left over, you're going to score exactly the same, the long side, that side, and all the way up to, so every half an inch, all the way to the end. 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and so on. Right, here are your 4 pieces scored. We're now going to score the cover. If you're going to score in centimeters, you can score at 13.5 centimeters. Because I've got inches, I need to score at 5 3/8. So there's 5, 1, 2, 3/8. Score it. Turn your piece upside down. Flip it, and again at 5 3/8. And there is the cover of your little book. Fold and burnish. So as I say, if you were doing it in centimeters, you would score at 13.5, flip your page over and score at 13.5 again. And that gives you the cover of your book. Right, this part is a little bit tedious. We're going to fold all our scored pieces like a fan. Remember when we were at school, we used to make those little paper fans, exactly like that. And press them flat as you go along. You don't want them to be too springy. Give it a good squish. There you go. Right, there, those 2 pieces, and exactly the same with your 18 by 18 pieces. If I could sing, which I can't to save my life, I would sing right now for you to fill in the silence. But I'm sure you have a song that you could sing in your head or even sing out loud. But I won't subject you to that, I should say. My singing is awful. And the last piece. Give it a good squash. And there you have it. Right, the next bit is a little bit fiddly. And if you fumble, don't stress. You'll get it right. I battled with it because my pieces kept jumping apart, and I battled a bit initially, but don't stress about it. Right, take one of your long sides, okay, hold it upright, and you take the short side. There you go. You're going to slot the two V's into each other. See, like that. Squash them together while they're still slotted in, and then pushing the short side, you're going to push it in until it can't go anymore and it's flush. Press it down so that your two sides are completely interlocked. Can you see that? I think the focus might go a bit wonky. See, they're totally interlocked there. You're going to do that on all four sides. Pop a little bit of glue onto, you don't glue all the pieces, just the front and the back. Flip it over, lift the flap, and a bit of glue. Not a lot of glue like I have done. This glue that I've got, it's a fantastic glue, but it drives me absolutely insane. Because if you don't put the lid on, it just oozes out. Okay, so there's your first section, and it's nice and tight. You're going to do that again. So now holding the short section, let me give this another squash. I'm going to interlock the V's, valleys of your folds, interlock them, bring it up, squash the two together, and just wriggle it until they interlock and are flush in the corner. There's no gap, they're sitting nice and tight. Spot of glue, flip it over, another bit of glue, just hold it for a second for your glue to take. If you're using Tombow or whatever glue your preference is, just make sure that it's gripped, because if you let go too soon, the whole thing goes sprink and you've got to start again. So yeah, just squish it down, and then the last little piece, exactly the same process. It looks very fiddly, but it isn't really. Right, hold it upright. Put your V's in together. See, even fiddle, fiddle, fiddle. They're all in. Close it up and wriggle until they are lined up. And because they're folded, you can be quite rough with it. It's strong because the papers are folded. They're nice and strong. Right, that's in nicely. Oh, this glue drives me nuts. You just look at it and it just oozes out. Can't stand it. Right, that should do it. And then the last one, once again, line all your V's up, interlace them, squish together, see, and they pop out. Do that again. Squash it and push them together. There we go. Nice and tight, sitting nice and flush. Glue grip. There we go. Here are the pages of your book. All nice and tight, all sitting nicely. Just adjust them. If you see some of maybe slipped out a bit, you can just push them in. Right. I'm now going to attach this to the back cover of your book. So you can line it up. Again, you can use your glue or you can use a nice strong double-sided tape. I'm going to use the glue again. Be quite generous with it. Right, line it up. I've got very skew eyes. Hopefully I get this nice and straight. It looks pretty good. Let's see here. And just hold it down, let the glue, give the glue time to grip. There you go, and there's your book. Very cute. Right, now for the fun part. This is the part I enjoy the most. I tend to get quite bored with all this folding and cutting and stuff. I like playing with pattern paper. I've always loved paper my whole life. And I just enjoy playing with it. Right, you're going to cut a piece of your patterned paper to fit on the front cover. And don't take it right the way to the edge. Leave a bit of your cardstock sticking out like you do with matting. So measure this. Let's have a look. It's 13.5 by 19. So I will make that 13 by 18.5. My piece of pattern paper. 13 by 18.5. That should do it. So look, and perfect. Right. I'm going to ink mine. You don't have to ink it. A lot of people don't ink their papers. I'm an inker. I believe it gives my edges a nice look, and also when you've cut paper, sometimes you've got that little white edge. It just gets rid of it. So ink or don't ink, it's whatever floats your boat. I'm going to stick this on with some double-sided tape. This video is pre-recorded. However, I am going to be online at the same time as the video is being aired. And if you have any questions, please just type in your question and I will respond. Or at any time, if you've got any questions, you can contact me and I will assist you. It is quite a straightforward, easy project to do. It's a nice one to keep in your archives because you never know, one day you just need a nice something special, and this might just suffice. Right, and I'm going to skew. And there's my cover. I have fussy cut some roses out, but I think they're going to be lost on here. So let's find something else. Right, my sheet of embellishments. I think I like that horse. Let's give that a... And you can embellish with anything. You can cut out some patterned paper that you are using. You can put a chippy. You can do anything you like to embellish with. You can put some flowers. You can put as much or as little on your project as you like. As I said earlier, whatever your preference is. I'm just going to quickly ink this. And because my paper is fairly busy, I'm going to just mat this piece that I've just cut. I'm just going to mat it just so that it stands out a little bit more. And I'm going to raise it with foam tape so that it's not so flat. Oh, shucks. Don't you just love it when your knife slips? Right. Phooey, man. I'm going to just rip that off. And do it again. Sorry, ladies. This might be the time for you to quickly go and have a bathroom break or a sip of your tea. While I fiddle faff with making a mess. There you go. Bit of foam tape to raise it up so that everything's not so flat. And I think I'll pop it down in the middle. Right, here's my cover. Now we're going to embellish and cover the front, sorry, the inside of the book. Right, these little strips here are 1 centimeter. So using some of your leftover paper, just cut 3 strips of 1 centimeter. Don't be too stressed or obsessive about how you place them. Let them overlap each other in the corner. Don't try and miter them. Just measure it, snip it off. And then I'm using a thin double-sided tape to attach these, or you can use your glue. If you've made a bit of a mess like I have here with the glue, don't worry about it. Your little strippy does cover it. You're going to do that, repeat that on all 4 sides. I've cut that a little bit skew. Just fix it there. You just overlap it. You can either glue it down or use your double-sided tape. And the last piece. Oh, you only need 2 strips of paper. Sorry, not 3. 2 has worked out perfectly. Just trim a little piece off there. Right, and there you have the edge of the box. Now we're going to make, with some leftover cardstock, and use your offcuts from when you've cut your cover and that out. If you have a look at one of the pieces, this was left from when we cut the cover. The width looks perfect. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, you can just take a little slither off the side, maybe about 1/2 centimeter. And then you can decide how high you want your inserts. So I think my first insert should be 5 centimeters. So cut it at 5. So that's my first one. The next one I'm going to cut at 7. I'm going to go every 2 centimeters. So 7 and then 9. So I'm only going to have 3 inserts in my little book. think that's enough for me. And I'm just going to pop them in. So you would start with your biggest piece at the back. And all you do is pop it in to one of those little grooves from your paper that you fanned. Pop it in, push it down to the bottom, and there's your first layer in. I'm just going to put them in to show you. Do your second one. Pop it in, all fitting very nicely. And then your last one. Excuse me. And there are the 3 inserts. Oh, pardon, I've got a scratch in my throat. Okay, I'm going to take them out again just so that I can embellish them, because they're looking far too plain for me. I like to make mooi. Right, I think for this first one, this is just a strip that came off the bottom of the paper, and I've kept it because I think it'll look really nice on the edge. So yeah, piece of double-sided tape on there. That's all I'm going to do for the back one. The back. That's lovely because doing these layers gives your whole book a lovely 3D look. Right, the second one, I think I'm going to just put a little flower there. I don't like that funny leaf, so let me just cut that off. I cut these out beforehand, as I said earlier, because I really do not enjoy fussy cutting. Just a bit of a bob of glue. Stick that down. And that's all I'm going to put on that one. Pop it in. Push it down to the bottom. And then the last piece, just make sure it's nice and straight. Yeah, there we go. The last piece, I think I'll do another piece of the patterned paper. I'm just going to use the other side of it. Yeah. Yes, that'll do. I'm using the back of my rose paper for some interest, something different. Turn it over, trim it off. And there's your third piece. There you go. And then I have a piece of acetate here, which I think I'm going to put in just to show you. It's slightly too wide and too long. So I'm just going to cut off bit. It'll be difficult for you to see the acetate because it's see-through, but hopefully you'll be able to see it once it is in the little book. And we'll cut off around about there. A little bit of a challenge to get the acetate in. You've got to bend it, and mine's slightly wide, so I'm just going to cut off another little bit. See now, bend it. Get it in the bottom first. It's also still far too long. Just keep tweaking it until you're happy with the size. Bottom first. There we go. Push it in. And I still need to cut a little bit more off the top. This all would have been avoided if I'd only measured it, hadn't? Isn't that a novel idea? Measuring. Sorry, I'm fiddling. Oh, seriously? It'll be the death of me. Right, ta-da! It is in. There you have it. Right, you can also put a pattern paper on your inside cover if you feel that that's far too plain. And then I'm just going to show you the very last little bit is we need to stick this down onto the spine. And here I use a very strong tape because it tends, if you just use your glue or a normal double-sided tape, it tends to pop off. So I'm using this high-tech double-sided tape, which sticks anything to anything. It is so strong. Once it's down, you battle to get it undone. Even glue undo doesn't work too well with this one. Right. Press it down, and there is your little book. Spine is done. Another thing that I like to do is put a piece across here. You don't fold it, you just round it so that it looks like the spine of a book. I'll show you from there, you can see. So you're going to cut a strip of paper. You can either leave it plain or you can do what I'm going to do now. So you cut a piece about 7 centimeters wide. By 19, I think it was. Let's just measure. Yes, 19 centimeters. And then just slightly bend it. You don't want to fold it. Just want to slightly bend it. In fact, if you've got something like a little bottle like that, do it around the bottle. It's perfect like that. Just bend it slightly. Put some double-sided tape again, right on the edge. Both ends. Right, you're going to stick that onto your front cover. Bring it about 1.5 centimeters onto the cover. Stick it down, turn it over, and stick onto the back cover. Again, about 1.5 centimeters onto the cover. You don't want it flush against your spine. You want it to stand proud. So that's about 1.5. Hopefully that is straight and not too straight. Okay, you can put a piece of pattern paper on the back of your book as well. Gently open it. Get that fold. There we go. And there's your book. I hope you've enjoyed the class. I've had fun doing it with you. Don't forget to send in your projects for this class. Put there class number 10 and you'll be entered into a random draw. Enjoy the rest of the scrapping days. Bye.